Yes, that's right. Just lean into it. Lean into the dead space.
Hello, 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 hello. Thank you again so much for joining us on this lovely, lovely day that we are having. Your time is always important.
It's not a lovely day. It's just miserably wet out there.
Not anymore.
I was just out there. I was out there just now.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah,
so
I was indeed.
Here, it's not miserably wet. By the way, everybody, my name is Kelly Wright.
And I'm James Ernest, and we're here all week coming to you from rainy, cold Seattle, where even outside is cold and nasty.
Well,
excuse
today
me.
was
My goodness, what a lot of cola I just drank.
My goodness. Well, I know that today was gorgeous and sunny, and I was happy that there was no rain. And I went outside to pick up a package just a minute ago, and it's not raining over here. So,
well, you're just far enough away from me that you can have your own weather, and that's all right. We can all have our own weather, Kelly. I think that's the way God intended. But out here, it's, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I sat under my porch. I don't even really literally know if it's raining or not. It's just got that Seattle wet feel to it. You know, everything out there is damp. But anyway, hey, Kelly.
Hey.
It's time for our opening segment, Conversation Starters, sponsored this week by Midlife. Tonight's very special Conversation Starter is a teaser for our YouTube-only special series, Out and About with Kelly and James. What's something interesting that you did last weekend?
Last weekend? What was the interesting thing I did this last weekend? I went to a casino.
Oh, that's right.
This last weekend. Yes, I did. Two friends and myself, we decided to go to the Tulalip Casino on the Tulalip Indian Reservation. And it was a quick girls' overnight trip. These two women that I
For quick girls only?
Quick girls only. No, these two women I am also going to Las Vegas with, but we decided to do what we called our pre-funk. You know, and let's get into the spirit of it because we'll be going in about 4 weeks. But around the casino area, there's, like outlet stores. So we did shopping and bought some stuff. And then we went to the hotel and cleaned ourselves up and went to the casino, gambled a bit, had a lovely dinner. Kind of split up so we could hit some machines that we wanted to play.
Hit those machines. Spin those wheels.
And I hit a jackpot.
Let me ask you something about the Tulalip Casino. I haven't been up there in years, but I want to know, do any of the slot machines have handles?
No, none of them.
They're all modern electronic push-button penny suckers.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. I mean, I'm not a purist or anything, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, there are no handles. But no, I hit a big jackpot. I thought it was $1,400, but I won $14,000.
That's amazing.
So, isn't that amazing? It was ridiculous.
That will finance this show for the next 200 years.
So, James, that was my interesting weekend. What about you?
Well, I created this question to talk about the weekend prior because you and I both went down to the Pike Place Market and shot our second Out and About video, which is on YouTube right now.
Yep, that was the weekend prior. So the last 2 weekends have been fun for me. Hopefully for you too, James, and our listening audience.
And Janice, tell us about the interesting things you do next weekend. And while you're at it, please support us on the Here All Week Patreon page, wherever great links are found. There we go. Now our opening segment is behind us, and we can move on to talking about us. What'd you do this week, Kelly?
This week was work. This week was also a birthday gift I gave to my husband. His birthday's in June, but he asked for car detailing. He wanted his car detailed.
Okay.
So we found a really great place, and we just dropped it off yesterday morning. And we were supposed to pick it up that evening, but the guy... The shop owner called and he goes, "We need to keep it overnight." He's like, "Okay."
Mice.
Because a rat had made a nest.
Yep.
Right near under the spare tire in that wheel well there. And the shop owner of the detail shop said he's seen a ton of this because of people not driving and cars just sitting in one spot. So a rat, probably most likely a Norwegian brown rat, since they run very free around here. There's a lot of them. They're prevalent. So there was a nest and some insulation that had been pulled out. And so they cleaned all that out. And so they kept it overnight so they could fumigate it and disinfect it, because you just don't want to breathe any of that stuff. You don't want to have the Hunta virus car.
Yeah, no, probably not.
And then he opened. He was showing us all he cleaned, and then he opened the hood, and he says the engine is gorgeous.
And then a panther jumped out.
No, fortunately, no. But I looked at the firewall there, and the stupid little rat or whatever they are had chewed off the covering, the gray covering off the firewall. So just all the asbestos brown stuff is just like right there. So
yeah.
So folks, if you don't drive your car often, you may want to go get it checked out.
The identical thing happened to me. I left my car in the garage during, 6 months of COVID, 6 months straight, and took it to the shop. And there was an unusual odor, and that's because there was a bunch of rats living under the hood somewhere. They didn't point them out to me or show them to me, but they did take the nest out. I think the rats themselves fell out on my way to the shop. But I'm sure they were quite disturbed that their house had up and started moving around after being settled for 6 months.
Oh yeah, I mean the cars provide the shelter, especially with winter coming. They just climb in and start making homes. So it was recommended to us that the car should be driven every day. You should move that car every day. You just drive it around the block, run up to the store, go get a juice, something like that, whatever. But it should at least be moved once a day. So
that's not a thing. That's not a thing that can happen to me. That car still sits for a month at a time.
Yep. So that was this week, and then there's work being done. My kid is over here, and I was a little late to the recording tonight because I'm cooking dinner, and the chicken was frozen solid, and I'm like, damn it, it's not cooking fast enough. So you kindly delayed the start of the recording. So.
I'm always ready, Kelly. I'm ready 24/7. I will podcast in the middle of the night, the middle of the day. I'll podcast with or without preparation. I'm here for you to accentuate your exceptional professionalism.
Oh, thank you. I'll slip you a Finsky for that once the show's done. So what did you do this week?
I hope so. You've got 14,000 of them.
Nope, it's in the house fund. We are building up money to buy a house.
Oh yeah, that's what people do when they get a windfall. They pay off their debts. What a shameful waste of a great opportunity. You could start a business. You could start a new software company with that kind of money. That's enough to start a Kickstarter campaign, and you could lose far more than that in 6 months.
That's seed money right there.
That's gambling money.
It's gambling money. What did you do this past week?
During the week, I aside from editing that video that I'm awfully proud of, I did a lot of work. I am spinning my wheels pretty fast over here at Crab Fragment Labs and putting game after game out on the internet. So that's what I've been doing this week. A lot of editing on games that are done, and a lot of design work on games that are nowhere near, and just kind of clicking with all the cylinders. I think it's because I'm living this double life now, where I spend half my time at my desk in Seattle, where it's cold and awful and nothing else to do, and the other half on the road. I'm going to a game convention on Thanksgiving weekend, and I'll be playing all these new games. That's my other forcing function, is getting everything ready for those play tests. So that's what I'm doing. Working.
Yeah. What's this game convention? I know conventions are just slowly starting to come back. So what is this one?
Well, this one's called Gobble Con, which they call because it's on Thanksgiving weekend, and it is it's a very small local con run by a staff that does a much bigger con called Gobble Con 6 months away from that. So this is just their little entertainment vehicle, and so that doesn't mean I'm not doing anything like important at this show. There's nothing really that happens at the show that's important. It's just a game room full of gamers gaming, and a perfect place to test new things and take it easy if I have to. I may just sleep a little bit because I don't know how much convention I can take. I had 6 players over here on Sunday, and by the end of a 4-hour game, I was kind of wiped out. My voice was shot, and I haven't done it a lot. I need to get my gaming muscles back in shape, whatever that means. Just sitting around a table rolling dice apparently is extremely exhausting.
Well, when you get out of the habit of something, especially if it's like, talking for a long time, you sit around tables and just gab, and you realize, wow, that does take some energy to do that. So
yeah, that's what it is. It's definitely being out of practice and not just getting old. Isn't that right, Kelly?
That is correct, James. I am right there with you. So I don't know. Did I mention that I had a really bad sore throat the other week? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, right after I spent 2 hours in the car with you, you said, "Oh, by the way, I've got a terrible cold."
By the way, so yeah, I had to get my throat swabbed and a COVID test because the sore throat was brutal, and there were no other symptoms, no fever, no body aches, nothing, absolutely nothing. So all tests are negative. So there's just some wacko virus going around, just creating really bad sore throat. And since I saw you last week, if you're not showing any symptoms now, I think you're out of the woods. I think you're safe.
I did say that I was quite tired after talking for Sunday, but then it passed, so I don't think that I caught anything from you. No, I think I'm just fine.
No, I don't think so.
I'll try again. I'll get with a lot more people in a couple of weeks. I'll fly an airplane a couple of times, and lick a lot of dirty walls. I'll just see what I can do to catch my next cold.
Oh, okay. Then, that is a goal right there.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Go get your first con crud in 2 years.
Oh,
go get
God.
it.
That's right.
Go get it.
I think we're all going to, I think everyone at this show has to show proof of vaccination. I think they're probably all going to be wearing masks more than zero amount of time. And so hopefully there will be less con crud than there used to be. I don't know.
Well, I know that as far as con crud goes, it wasn't necessarily COVID, but it was usually just some horrible upper respiratory infection.
But actually, they're kind of related, aren't they? Isn't COVID just essentially the common cold, but a very specific, very terrible version of it?
A very awful variant. So yes, I guess you're right. So it is just a shitty cold.
And obviously, no one is immunized against all of that. But I think the mask wearing is a big deal in terms of just keeping everyone's mucus to themselves.
Yep. So with masks and hand washing, hopefully it'll be okay. So
constant hand
let's
wringing.
See, ringing and looking like a fly. Hands.
And for safety's sake, I think the hotel has shut down all their restaurants, so I won't have to worry about that. It's kind of a food desert down there. I don't know.
So I have to ask you, if you're there on Thanksgiving weekend, what are you doing for food? Are you going to
300 granola bars? No, I don't know. What we're doing Thanksgiving early and wrong here. So I think we're going to cook a chicken on Wednesday, which is kind of like a turkey on Thursday. I'm flying on Thursday because that was the cheapest flight because I'm cheap. And honestly, I think there are restaurants down there. I just don't know which ones exist. I'm probably having a lot of food delivered is the answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully, because if the restaurant doesn't have their kitchen open, that's going to be
entertainment. It's going to be entertainment.
Let's see. What is going on in the world today? My goodness. The Kyle Rittenhouse trial. The jury is now deliberating. They had him pick his own jury.
That's nice. Did you know nice when a nice young man can pick his own jury. What kind of thing is that? No, I didn't know that. I'm not following it very closely, unfortunately. Anyway, all I know is it's a travesty of justice from start to finish.
Well, what it is that Wisconsin picks more potential jurors than they need. So there was 18, and they put 18 names into this hopper. And usually the court clerk or sometimes the judge will draw the names of the jurors. It's just totally random. But the judge wanted to kind of... The whole trial was just a kind of a clown show. But the judge, of course, being like he is, this doesn't surprise me at all, had Kyle draw the names from the hopper. Doesn't surprise me. Oh, I see.
So he picked them at random, not intentionally.
No, he didn't point at you and go Deedle Doors or the
I like him. He can be my jury.
I see Amy and David and Carl. No.
I spy with my little eye someone who won't convict me on first-degree murder.
Yeah. Yeah, so I read into it, and there's no legal ramifications on having the defendant pick the names out, as long as it doesn't matter who the fingers are on pulling the paper out.
Still, it seems an odd bit of theater when they could have had anyone draw those names.
Right, yeah, it is an odd bit of theater. So there's that. Let's see.
I'll tell you what I've been looking at this week, Kelly. It's a company called Spinlaunch. Are you familiar with this?
You sent me a video of it, and I, honest to God, thought it was a parody because I thought, yes, Trebuchet to space. How awesome is that? It's a real live
thing. They get this. They get a satellite into space by throwing it instead of by using a propellant. They spin it incredibly fast on this, motor arm, deal like James Bond rides in in Moonraker. And then at a very precise moment, they let go and it goes straight up through not only the atmosphere, but also this membrane that they have to have on the vacuum chamber to keep it vacuum. So it busts out of the paper, whatever, and flies up into space. And usually, I think at this point, I mean, the video that's online is of a test of a small object being thrown at from a small facility that's only like 35 meters high or something. And I think they expect that it'll have like a second or a third stage rocket. It'll still have a little bit of propulsion, but most of the fuel that you burn in a traditional rocket launch gets you a little bit off the ground, right? And this slingshot gets you most of the way into outer space. So as long as the payloads can take, and I'm not exaggerating, 10,000 Gs,
oh my God,
they can get slingshotted into space. The last article I read about this thing is actually, so as long as you're not dropping it on the pavement, your iPhone can actually probably withstand 10,000 Gs, right? A human being can withstand 9, so we're not exactly slingshotting Buzz Aldrin into space.
That was my next question.
Yeah, no, there's not an equivalent for humans unless you want to reassemble them on the ISS. But
I don't think there's going to be any reassembling. It would just be a spread of raspberry jam at that point.
But there's plenty of satellite makers who can say, look, if you can withstand these tolerances and it's not as hard as it sounds, then you can save a buttload on propellant. You can get your satellite into space for a quarter of the price. So that's amazing, and I highly recommend anyone go find the video of Spinlaunch because the video they posted is a successful launch. Everyone's just sitting in the control room watching the arms spin around, for however long it takes to spin up, like an hour to spin up to speed, and then poof, shoots this thing up into space.
Well, here's why I thought the clip you sent me was fake. Okay, because first of all,
because everything I send you is a fake clip.
No, it's not. It's not that at all. I mean, there's enough parody and enough jokey science. Like, for example, there's one video out there showing these horrifying amusement park rides where people will die. So when you see that type of fake video, you're like, that can't be real. That can't be real. No. And then you find out, of course, it's fake. So you sent me this clip, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, it has potential. No, this can't be real. And then they cut to the control room, and the control room is like sterile white, like totally white, like this kind of hospital room. I'm like, okay, they couldn't even afford a set. So okay, this is fake.
And it's staffed by like 22-year-old guys with long mustaches and longer hair.
Exactly. It's all long hairs and beards and the baseball caps on backwards. I'm like, oh, come on.
So anyway, we thought we could maybe just slingshot this thing into space, and so we just built a slingshot and up it goes.
So I honestly thought it was fake, and then I did some due diligence on it. I'm like, nope, this is a real thing. So, but yeah, kind of like the movie when you watch Contact and you see that the contraption in the middle of the desert where the thing drops down, and you're like, well, that could be real, but at the same time, so that's exactly what I thought. I thought it was like a movie rendering kind of thing. So anyway, good one, James. You sent me an actual thing. Good one.
And I'll do it again.
Don't you threaten me with a good time. Let's
you sound like my Ashley Madison profile. What did you send me this week that I said that to? That's so funny.
Oh, something about, I could spend a day with you.
See what happens.
You're like, sounds like my Ashley Madison profile.
I think it's time we take a break for our sponsor.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Woo! This episode of Here All Week is brought to you by Midlife, the crisis people. It's time.
Are you in the middle of something right now? Or maybe you're right in the middle of everything?
Are you always too busy to realize you're always too busy?
Do you wish you could do something about the fact that you've never done anything?
My God, I forgot to have a midlife crisis.
That's right, Kelly. The middle of age can be a complicated time without a spare moment for self-reflection, second-guessing, or thinking about the box.
That's so true. I feel like it's time for a midlife crisis, but I just don't have the time.
That was my excuse, too, until I got help from the experts at Midlife.
Yes, Midlife. Our crisis engineers are ready right now to help you transform your slightly frustrating mid-50s into a full-blown catastrophe.
The fact is, most of us just don't have the time to orchestrate our own spiral of self-destruction. That's where Midlife can help.
Our Breakdown Squad breaks it down for you, showing the latest tricks and techniques for a total emotional collapse.
Before midlife, I was in a rut. I barely had time to make the right decisions, let alone the wrong ones. Midlife helped me get my life back off track.
Call Midlife and schedule your personalized train wreck today. Our crisis engineers have been helping middle-aged workaholics make poor choices since 1929.
But did you know Midlife also offers packages for folks of all ages, students, young professionals, and even retirees?
That's right. Whatever your age, wage, or stage, Midlife has a perfect plan to throw it all away and wake up on a park bench in Reno.
And right now, Midlife is offering discounts on our best-selling holiday packages, like Waxing Ennui, Existential Dilemmas, and Fits of Powerless Rage.
Call now for 10% off your next crisis, day or night.
Newlyweds, make smart choices for the dumb parts of your marriage. Plan the 7-year itch before you get hitched.
Whether it's time to buy an expensive car, hook up with a vacuous supermodel, or just set fire to your front yard, Midlife is here to help.
Choose from our broad range of colorful derangements like Weltschmerz, Schadenfreude, Trope Fade, Thought Bottom, and the very popular overpriced Juicer.
Midlife, your emotional time bomb is ticking. Light the fuse today.
Get help planning your next cry for help with Midlife. It's never too late.
We also do steaks. What's Weltschmerz?
Weltschmerz is the sort of feeling the sadness of the world.
Okay, I have never.
Those
heard that.
Germans have a word for everything.
They do have a word for everything.
They
and
have
I
one single word with everything packed into it.
Weltschmerz. No, I've heard of Schadenfreude, but
I believe it means always keep remember.
Always keep remember.
Every night before you go bed, always keep remember.
Always like salmon we spawn. Always keep remember.
keep it by the bed. Well, Kelly, it's time for some trivia if you're ready.
Let me think.
You're ready.
Yeah.
Tonight's trivia business is called Translate from English, Please. English can be a complicated and frustrating language, as we all know from our struggles with game rules, stereo instructions, and EULAs. You've speaked it for your whole life, but how goodly do you truly know your mother tongue? Here are 8 wordly trivias to befuddle your noodle. Question 1. Words like ravel and cleave are contronyms, meaning what?
Contronyms. They are opposites of each other.
That's right. They have 2 opposite meanings. For example, ravel can mean both to tangle something or untangle it. Dusting can mean adding dust to something or taking it away. Other contronyms include sanction, apology, buckle, and overlook.
You also said cleave in that.
Yeah,
right?
That's right. Cleave either means to stick to something or cut it in half.
Interesting.
Question 2. Inflammable and flammable are 2 words that mean the same thing. What's the proper term for these?
Inflammable and flammable?
Any 2 words that mean the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, flammable would be the one. I guess I'm misunderstanding the question.
The word for words that mean the same thing is
synonyms. Oh, synonyms.
That's right.
Synonyms. Thank you.
Technically, flammable things will burn if you set them on fire, while inflammable things can burst into flames all by themselves. Question 3. Robert Caudry's Table Alphabetical, published in 1604, was the first known version of what?
A thesaurus?
Close. A dictionary, an English Danglage.
Okay.
English Danglage Wiktionary. The book lists only about 3,000 words, focusing only on the most difficult and challenging words in the English language.
They should use those in the spelling bees.
I believe they do.
I believe
Question
they do.
4. A larger dictionary of the English language, comprising more than 40,000 words, was released in 1755 by which famous English writer?
Isn't that Webster?
That is Samuel Johnson.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Johnson's dictionary required 6 assistants and more than 8 years to produce and was still far from complete. In the preface, Samuel Johnson explains how he had found the English language to be copious without order and energetic without rules.
Johnson's Dictionary.
Johnson's Dictionary. Question 5. Kiwi, Hoosier, and Tar Heel are all examples of demonyms, which means what?
Demonyms. Kiwi, Hoosier, and Tar Heel. Demonyms.
Demonyms.
Shortened words? Shortened.
A demonym is a noun defining a person based on where they live.
Oh, because I'm thinking sports teams.
Mm-hmm. Close.
Yeah.
Most demonyms
Okay.
are based on a place name like Seattleite or European, but some are quite strange like crow eaters from South Australia, monkey hangers from Hartlepool, England, and nutmeggers from Connecticut, USA. Question
Okay.
6.
What do we call us here in Washington?
Seattleites.
Apple
So
knockers?
Washingtonians and Seattleites.
Okay. I was going to say apple knockers. But,
I believe Issaquadlians is also correct.
It's a quadlian?
Question 6. An American president was embroiled in scandal when he uttered the following phrase under oath. It depends on what the meaning of the word is. Name that president.
Oh, that was Clinton.
That was William Jefferson Clinton,
Yeah.
who is discussing under oath whether there is, as opposed to was, an improper relationship with
Yes.
White House intern Monica Lewinsky.
Yep.
Poor bastard. Question 7. Words like noun, short, polysyllabic, and unhyphenated are in a category of autonyms. What is an autonym?
Boy, my English teacher is going to slap my face if she ever sees me. I don't know.
They all have Latin roots, Kelly. You could probably parse it out.
Latin.
Autonym is a word that describes itself. The word autonym has other meanings as well. It could also be the name of a group that people call themselves, like demonym, or it could mean the opposite of pen name, i.e. an author's real name. But those autonyms, let's go over them again. Noun is a noun. Short is short, fairly short. Polysyllabic is definitely polysyllabic. And unhyphenated, thank goodness, is unhyphenated.
Is unhyphenated.
Question 8. According to data gathered by Samuel Morse, the letter E is the most commonly used letter in the English language, appearing approximately 60 times more often than the least common letter, which is what?
X.
X is in the bottom, but not at the bottom. The answer is Z. Morse reached this estimate by counting the number of different letters in sets of printers type. There are now much more effective ways to measure letter frequency, and different counts will get you different results, but the 4 worst letters are consistently Q, X, J, and Z.
Those are the ones that have the most points, too, in Scrabble.
Indeed they are, and that is why. The bonus fact in this list is contronyms are also called Janus words, named after our very first and favorite listener, Janus, and also the two-faced Roman god of doorways. Thanks for wording with us today, Janus, and we hope you'll smile on us the next time we walk through a door.
After this trivia, I now speak gooder than ever.
I should
Gooder.
bloody well hope so. That's English.
That is English for you. Through.
The
Over.
though it's full of apocryphal-cies, I believe that the Samuel Johnson's Dictionary episode of Blackadder is my favorite half hour of television of all time.
Really?
Are you familiar with the Blackadder?
I am familiar with the
series?
Blackadder, but it's been ages, and I don't remember that episode.
Yeah, it's if you only watch one TV episode between now and when you die, it should be this. Well, it should be the longest episode you can find. But after that, you should pick the dictionary episode from Blackadder 3, I guess. Damn
I will
funny.
have to. I'm making a note of that. I'm going to put that in the show link so people can enjoy Blackadder 3 dictionary episode. Got it. I want to check in with you, James. How are your guinea pigs?
I'm here for you, Kelly. The guinea
Thank
pigs
you.
are great. They are boisterous. They are bigger than before. I believe that because we keep feeding them, they are growing.
That's usually the case with most living things.
I think that's how pets go. I think you feed them and they grow.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to expand to fit inside whatever tank you put them in. Is that guinea pigs, or what am I thinking of?
You're thinking of fish. You're thinking of fish.
I'm thinking
guinea
of
pigs.
fish.
Yeah, guinea pigs don't expand to fit their tank. However, it would be awesome if they did, because then you basically would have like your own capybara.
Like
Always
a
wanted a
big,
capybara.
like a big floating underwater guinea pig. Just bumping his face and his butt against the sides of the tank because he has once again swole to the size of the enclosure.
Exactly.
Anyway, as far as I can tell, they're doing fine. They had the last emergency they had was months ago when they had a broken tooth, and that just grew right back. So I wish I could do that.
Oh, good. Yeah, I wish I could do that too. Yeah. Speaking of that, I have a dentist appointment coming up next week.
Is it a scheduled one or an emergency one?
No, it is a scheduled one. It is part of the 3 times I have to go in every year because of the deep cleaning of the gums and the pockets and stuff. So so I have to get that extra cleaning in. So, and they like to really dig in there, and that's just not, it's not one of my favorite. I mean, I like my dentist, nice guy, really do, but it's just, man, that's just not something that you run smiling to. I'm going to the dentist, yay! You just don't do that.
Someone does. Someone out there goes there. Someone out there loves it. Hello, that's someone. I hope you enjoy your life.
Hello. Quick update about my pets. Doing great. The little runt of our little Grumble, Wednesday, she's gotten really, really big. She's almost the size of her brother Moriarty. And when we brought her home, if you've listened to past shows, super tiny little girl. She was born at 2 ounces, and we brought her home when she was 10 weeks old and 3 pounds. And she's now finally she's 10 months old, and she is 14, almost 15 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So she's really blossomed, because I know a lot of times runts can have a tendency to stay a little bit smaller. They just don't grow to full size. But she has. But the thing about it is, when you look at her, her little head hasn't quite caught up to her body. So she's got this little pug pinhead and this body behind her. So she sure is a cute little girl, but they're all doing great. They're all in good shape. No problems, no injuries here. They run. Actually, I can hear them. I don't know if it's coming through the mic. They're running around like crazy upstairs right now.
And what about the humans of your household, Kelly? How
oh my
are
goodness,
they faring
we're doing great
in this,
too.
in this darkness we call winter?
I call my hubs and my kid the mole people, because they sure love having the drapes closed, and they love it dark, and they would have that all the time if they could. And I like bright light in my house.
Aren't they lucky?
constant fight. But yes, it is one of those mind tricks that with the fall back, and it gets basically sunset here is 4:30 in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time it's like 6:30 or 7, I'm thinking, God, I should go to bed. It's late because it's so stupid dark out. And I look and it's like 7 o'clock. I'm like, what? So I don't know if you have that problem.
I have a very different schedule than that. I work in the basement, so I don't even know if it's light outside, and I tend to work until about 2 in the morning. The darkness doesn't affect me, but more I could use the sun. I'm going to go get the sun on my face again as soon as I can.
Yeah, because you are a conundrum where you like working in your basement without seeing any, circadian
I don't
lights,
like it. This is just where all my things are.
Okay.
I mean, it's certainly true that when you're doing graphic work on a computer, you don't want to have intrusive light. Sure, that's fine. But then when I get up and leave my house, I don't just want to walk into a sponge, whether that's a hot sponge or a cold sponge. I don't want to walk out into the cold, rainy garbage that is the Seattle winter any more than I have to. So yeah, I am in my basement because there is no place else to go.
Got it. Do you use a sun lamp? Like a light box? Because I have a light box. I need to use one of those during the
I use a Las Vegas condominium. I just can't use it every day.
Okay. That's your light box. Got it. You stand shirtless at the window, just burning in that sunlight.
I lie naked on the porch, and I challenge the constables to come and find me.
That's where you go and get your vitamin D, lying naked on the porch, and the screams of people. Oh my God!
Oh my God! Right. By. Once in a while, someone will scream, faint, fall from a great height, but it's okay. It's a price to pay to get sufficient vitamin D from sun exposure.
Exactly. I totally agree with you.
And no tan lines.
That's the benefit of sunning naked. No tan lines.
That is a benefit of sunning naked.
That is a benefit.
I also meet the most interesting people.
I bet. Sir, this is a Wendy's.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, but the Jack in the Box is closed.
Sir, excuse me. Okay, folks. Thanks you so much for joining us. We will be doing a Thanksgiving show next week, so you can join us for that. I'm going to bring some interesting recipes, I find. So that's a little highlight for our show for next week. But for this show, thank you so much for joining us today. Always appreciate your time with us. As always, be kind. Be kind to yourself, your family, your friends, your community, because we're still going through it. Thank you again. My name is Kelly Wright.
And I'm James Ernest, and we're here all week.